My own son looked me in the eyes and said, "Stop wasting money." Those 4 words shattered everything I believed about the family I had spent my entire life building. He thought I was old enough to control but too weak to fight back. What he did not know was that every account he believed belonged to him existed only because I had trusted him. The next morning I walked into the bank with one folder in my hands. By sunset his entire plan had collapsed and he finally understood the cost of betraying the person who gave him everything. For 42 years I worked before sunrise and returned home long after dark. Every dollar I earned carried memories of sacrifice. I skipped vacations, delayed retirement, and sold my favorite classic car just to make sure my children never worried about money. My son Daniel always told people that I was his hero. I believed every word. After my wife passed away, Daniel insisted that I should let him help with my finances. He said online banking was confusing and modern investments required younger minds. I trusted him because he was my son. I added his name to several accounts so paying bills would become easier. For months everything appeared normal. Bills were paid on time. Statements arrived regularly. Daniel often reminded me not to spend too much because retirement required discipline. I thanked him for caring. One afternoon I bought a comfortable recliner because my old chair had become painful for my back. Daniel saw the delivery and immediately became angry. He looked at me with disappointment instead of concern. He said, "Stop wasting money, Dad. At your age you do not need expensive things." Those words hurt more than I admitted. This was the same child whose college tuition I had paid without asking for anything in return. I stayed silent because arguing with family rarely solves anything. That evening my neighbor Susan came over for coffee. She had worked at a bank for over 30 years before retiring. While we talked, she casually asked if I had reviewed my recent financial statements. I laughed and admitted that Daniel handled everything now. Her smile disappeared. She gently said, "You should always understand your own finances, no matter how much you trust someone." The next morning, curiosity pushed me toward the bank. The manager greeted me warmly because we had known each other for many years. I requested complete account records. As page after page appeared in front of me, my hands began shaking. Large transfers had been moving from my retirement accounts into new investment accounts carrying Daniel's name. Luxury purchases included vacations, designer watches, and expensive electronics. There were also applications for loans using my financial carried my signature. The manager quietly explained that because Daniel had legal access to some accounts, many transactions appeared authorized. However, several documents raised serious questions about possible fraud. I felt sick. The boy I had trusted more than anyone had slowly turned my lifetime of savings into his personal lifestyle. Instead of reacting with anger, I asked the manager one simple question: "What can I legally protect today?" For the next several hours we worked carefully. Accounts that belonged only to me were transferred into completely new accounts. Automatic transfers were canceled. Access permissions were removed wherever legally possible. Credit monitoring was activated. My attorney prepared emergency paperwork protecting my remaining assets. Everything happened within one afternoon. That evening Daniel called. His voice sounded nervous. "Dad, did something happen at the bank?" I calmly answered, "Yes." I finally started managing my own money again. Silence filled the phone. Then came excuses. He claimed he had borrowed money only temporarily. He blamed investment opportunities. He blamed confusing paperwork. He blamed everyone except himself. A week later, my attorney uncovered even more problems. Daniel had expected to inherit everything eventually. Instead of waiting, he had quietly started treating my savings as if they already belonged to him. The hardest conversation came when my granddaughter Emily visited. She hugged me tightly and whispered, "Grandpa, please do not think everyone wanted this." Those words reminded me that one person's betrayal should never destroy an entire family. I changed my will. Instead of leaving everything under one person's control, I created a family trust with independent oversight. Educational funds were protected for my grandchildren. Charitable donations were added because I wanted my life's work to help people instead of feeding someone's greed. Months later, Daniel finally asked to meet. For the first time since childhood, he arrived without confidence. He apologized, not because the money disappeared, not because the accounts were closed, but because he finally realized he had lost something much more valuable than wealth. He had lost my trust. I listened quietly. Forgiveness is possible. Trust must be earned again. I wished him well, but refused to return financial control. From that day forward, every bill, every investment, and every decision carried my own signature. People often believe growing older means becoming weaker. They are wrong. Age teaches lessons that pride can never understand. The greatest investment I ever protected was not my money. It was my dignity. If someone truly loves you, they will protect your future instead of controlling it. Money can always be earned again, but trust once broken takes years to rebuild. Never surrender complete control of your finances simply because someone shares your last name. Respect is proven through actions, not words. My son learned that wealth without integrity eventually disappears, but character remains forever. If this story touched your heart, please like, subscribe, share, and comment, because your support helps bring more meaningful stories to this channel.